I've been racking my brain for a while. It's been 6 months that I've been on this case. Days go by, turn into weeks and months. I feel like every step I take, I get further from the truth. Why was John Pork unalived? You might say you know the answer. It was a crime of passion from a jealous husband. But there is so much more to the story than what meets the eye. There is a pig, a mouse, a panther, an eagle, another mouse, another pig, and one more pig, and another mouse. They all played their part in this. What about the zookeeper and the secret agent, the witness, and some gods, apparently? I am so close yet so far, and I can't move on until I crack this case.
Hey Alex, what happened to your job interview?
Oh crap.
Oh god, not this again. You've been unemployed for 5 months. What the hell is wrong with you?
I have to crack this case, okay?
What case? It's a bunch of AI generated crap.
It's everything. You don't understand.
Please don't tell me you went there and spoke about brain rot the whole time again.
No, I did not talk about Team Cheese and John Pork.
The rent is due this Friday. Do you even have any money left?
I have.
How?
They accept pork pay, right?
Fuck! John Pork, Team Cheese, Simon Cloud. Do any of these words make sense to you? If they do, you might be in danger. Nothing physical, just your brain frying like pancake batter from the sheer amount of AI brain rot that is being fed to you on a daily basis. I came upon the John Pork lore back when I was doing my Dom the Troll video, where he shoves photos of these weird characters in the face of poor minimum wage workers for content, and I got curious to find out what was it about. Why do we have photos of pig-faced men and penguins and mouses that we are using as payment methods? I had no idea what I was about to discover would ruin my feed, my mind, and by extension, my life. Okay, maybe not the third one. That one was already ruined. The John Pork universe is a series of TikTok pages that are creating a collective story, each contributing to the plot with every post they make. But in order for you to understand how this all came to be, we need to go back to the beginning. In the year 2018, a virtual influencer with the face of a pig posted 2 pictures of himself at Sky Island in Scotland. Now, if you ask why would someone portray themselves as a pigman on social media, I would say you are not ready for what I'm about to get into, because this is the least concerning matter about all this. John H. Pork. There is no H in there. I just wanted it to sound cool, like I'm doing a documentary or something. After posting himself in various vacation spots, disappeared from the face of the earth for 3 years. He then came back in 2022 with a couple posts which were relatively normal, but he was still unknown until March 2023, where a series of TikToks called John Pork is Calling You went viral. It was at this point that a story began to take shape. People started making up their own ideas of why John Pork is calling you, and why is no one answering him, which led them to speculate that he was in danger asking for help, but because no one answered him, he was either kidnapped or unalived. At the same time, the actual John Pork started posting regularly on social media as a reformed man. He seemed to have lost some weight and had become, frankly, a cool person. A little too cool. During the middle of a wild club night when John Pork enters. Damn! I mean, if you look past the fact that he is a man with the face of a pig, he is low-key looking fire. Look at that outfit. Smash that like button, please. He also made some contradictory posts about himself, where at first he kind of implies he is a god.
Who is John Pork, you ask? Giza, 1915. Archaeological digging. There's a colossal statue. On the base of this statue, there are hieroglyphs that read, "To the god of skies and parties."
Oh my god, this is so grand. How does this literal god live amongst us humans? What does he concern himself with? And why make his presence known to us now? Maybe his next post will enlighten us a bit. Laundry on, phone off. Oh, that was a little anticlimactic. But there was a bigger problem here. People didn't really care that John Pork was active and posting. This was no longer about a virtual influencer garnering attention for doing something new. In the eyes of the people, John Pork was either missing or unalived. A collective opinion was forming on something that did not actually exist, and AI content creators realized that with enough manipulation, this collective opinion could be directed, used, and most importantly, monetized. And it was here that Team Cheese was born, an AI-generated mouse that added to the lore by being the one behind John Pork's unaliving. An assassin who shot him from the shadows. But that was only the tip of the AI iceberg that was forming. Now that we knew what happened to John Pork, new questions were raised. Who is Team Cheese? Why did he unalive John, and how did he do it? And with each question raised, a new piece of the puzzle was added with every new content. Just so you get the gist, the story as of now is that John Pork and Team Cheese were childhood friends and orphans living in the slums. This friendship friendship did not last forever though. John decided to pursue a music career and became famous, so he left his friends in the slums where they joined the criminal underground. However, that was not enough motivation for Tim to do anything to John, so they added that John slept with Tim's wife, Tina Cheese.
I saw him, John, standing there, talking to her, making her laugh in ways I never could.
And all this lore was building up while the actual John Pork was posting this stuff on his account. He seemed to have moved to a new house with his also pig-nosed girlfriend, and they seemed to be just chilling. But then again, this story was like an AI content creator all-you-can-eat buffet, so there are like 5 versions of it. In another version of the story, it was not John that betrayed his friends, it was them who left him behind. Which makes no sense. If you are living in the slums scrapping by for food, you would go to any birthday party, even if just for the cake. But I guess the multiple perspective is kind of intriguing, with each character having their own narrative. It's like the movie Rashomon by Akira Kurosawa, just worse. Way worse. Way worse. And at this point, the plot was still relatively contained. What made the whole thing blow way out of proportion was the fact that the story was over, but there were still many AI content creators who wanted in on all the pork clout. So as a result, a new era of the lore began where many different characters were trying to shove themselves into the lore. The first round included mildly relevant characters like Marvin Beak, John Pork's friend who Tim Cheese framed for his unaliving and is out for revenge, which has a very disturbing image, haunts my dreams at night. Simon Claw, who was John and Tim's best friend in childhood and is now working with Tim. Bob Bacon, John Pork's cousin, a mafia boss who gave his dirty work to Tim and Simon, who was also unalived when Tim broke Simon out of prison and they attacked his base together. There's Justin Cheddar, whose chair moves with him and worked as Tim's insider to set up the hit on John Pork. And Tina Cheese, Tim Cheese's ex-wife, who the community doesn't let into the lore because she's a bop. I did not know the meaning of this word before this, and I do not care for the fact that I do now. But then the characters went from mildly relevant to the story to kind of weird. There is Agent 5.5, who is not an AI character, but he does dress like an 11-year-old suddenly grew up to 50 right before rolling the camera.
5.5 here. Just got out of the tunnel. Shout out to FaZe Rug.
We got Pingu, who's the witness to John's unaliving and is working with 5.5 and Marvin Beak to find Tim Cheese. There is the Yeet Squad, which is a squad that has Pingu in it, and wait a minute. Oh god. And then after this, there was absolute AI character chaos. There is the zookeeper, who is in charge of all the animals, which is frankly doing a very poor job since they're all running around town doing all kinds of shenanigans. There is Rahim the rat, who is a scam caller who scammed Tim Cheese.
I'm Rahim Rat, and I scammed Tim Cheese. I called him, told him his bank account was at risk. Oh, he panicked. Oh no, Rahim, please take my money, just make it safe.
Who thought this was a good idea as a character to introduce? Did an actual scam caller make this just for representation in the lore? Hank Grizzle, whose whole thing is that he's salty they won't let him into the lore cause he's auraless.
So I'm not in the lore, am I? That's funny, cause I was always there. Even when you couldn't see me, I was there.
Bro, everyone would notice if there was an actual big ass bear in the background. I do get why they don't let him in. He has zero aura. And last but worse, Buffalo Bill, who essayed Simon Claw in prison.
I'm Buffalo Bill, and I made Simon Claw my bitch in jail.
What the fuck? So I'm going to stop here because I don't want to give everyone and myself a brain aneurysm, but just so you know, there are at least 30 more characters trying to shove themselves into the lore. My whole feed has turned into a bunch of dumb looking AI animals talking about John Pork and Tim Cheese, which are both not real things. I sit for a moment to relax on TikTok and all I see are animals flexing their aura to get into a lore that does not matter, making me think if I am the one watching all this stuff that does not matter, do I matter? There are those who dedicate their lives to the betterment of humanity, and I, on the other hand, watch Team Cheese lore. And just so you know, everyone does not have to be knee deep in like me to know about the lore, cause there are official reporters on TikTok who keep you in on the story. There is Unemployed News who constantly argues his position in the lore knowing he has no authority in it.
5 characters we're not bringing into the Tim Cheese lore. Number 1 is Simon Claw because he brings nothing to the storyline. I've officially let Simon Claw into the Tim Cheese lore. Here's the backstory on Simon Claw.
He also seems like someone is holding him at gunpoint every time he makes a video. And lastly, John Pork's son just announced that he will be running for presidency. And cut. Good job. Okay, I finished the lines. Will you let me go now? What do you mean let you go? Who's gonna do the channel? Why don't you do it yourself? I'm really camera shy. I'd rather just be behind the camera and shoot, if you catch my drift. Can I at least drop my hand? Nope. It has a good urgent vibe to it. It's like your life depends on it. That's because it does. You know people will be looking for me. You don't understand. After seeing you do this channel, everyone gave up on you. No one will be looking for you or me. Oops. There's a video of Team Cheese's cousin talking about his cheese addiction. Go. There's also Hyperstrides, who starts every video with an explosion and is in full sweat.
John Pork Lore is insane. John Pork Lore is back. John Pork Lore endgame. John Pork Lore is over.
He either only posts meat sprinting or he's just that excited about the content. Or he is also being held at gunpoint to do this. By the way, just before I get into why I made this video, just to let you know how off the absolute hinge the story has become so far, John Pork is revived with the help of Agent 5.5, who found a god called the Architect who brought him back to life for a short time and is now out for revenge. Meanwhile, Team Cheese has unalived his cheating ex-wife and has betrayed Simon Claw for zero reason. He just felt like it, I guess. And there are portals opening, allowing John, Tim, and Simon to meet their ancient ancestors and gain superpowers from them for the upcoming war. How did we go from The Departed to Infinity War on this? How does this make sense? What? Oh, nothing made sense from the beginning? Yeah, that makes sense, thanks. So you might say, Alex, why is this bad? It seems actually kind of cool following along a story that is being collectively told through multiple creators, each adding a piece to the puzzle. It sounds fun. But it's not about fun now, is it? Sorry, I don't know what that was about. Actually, it is about fun and how our standards of fun are getting lower and lower. Before, in order to make an animated story, we needed a team of artists and writers who collaborated to create a beautifully crafted story that we could enjoy. But now all of these steps can be done by using AI. And it's not like these new stories are any good. They didn't make sense from the beginning and they never will. But we, myself included, still choose to spend our time watching and thinking about these dumb AI characters, while every element of these stories has a better counterpart in movies, TV shows, anime, books, or even games that we could choose to watch and enjoy instead. Let's say you want to follow a story about the mafia and the criminal underground. You got movies like Goodfellas, The Godfather, and Reservoir Dogs. You got TV shows such as Peaky Blinders and The Sopranos. There's also the mafia games, which are awesome. These all explore intricate human dynamics and interactions between these deep layered characters, where you no longer see them through their actions but their emotions and their outlook on life. Meanwhile, we have this.
Remember when we used to get low taper fades together, Tim? Those times have faded away.
Remember when we used to get low taper fades together, Tim? Those times have faded away. That was just perfect. I'm trying to clap but I can't. But that should be in the top quotes of cinema. You could say there are other aspects to this story, like right now it has magic and supernatural beings in it. Go watch the Never-Ending Story, the Harry Potter series, play the Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry games, which are again awesome. Even if you want a story about essay in prison, you could watch Shawshank Redemption, but that's just weird. Why would you want that specific thing? You are a weird person. And now you might be thinking, okay, boomer, just get on with the times. This is what is in now, and your little rant won't change anything. And I get it, there is sort of an intrigue with this new format of storytelling. But what worries me about all this, and the reason these stories have better counterparts in films, books, and TV shows, is because they were written by AI that uses those same medias as source material to barf out a worse condensed version of it for you to consume. The people who made these accounts are sitting behind a computer telling ChatGPT to write a story about betrayal or the backstory of these characters, and then they feed that same script to an AI video generator, which again uses works of artists and designers who spent years of their life mastering their craft, only for it to be stolen and used by AI to bring freaking Biggie Cheese to life.
Hello, I'm Biggie Cheese, Tim Cheese's uncle.
And every day this trend is becoming more and more pronounced in our daily lives, and the worst part is we are accepting it. We call it brain rot, but we still sniff it out and consume it like rot sniffing little demons that sniff rot and rot sniffs them out. What? We will keep watching, and soon what we call social media, and by extension general media, will all turn into AI media lacking any kind of uniqueness or human perspective. Just surface level stories that make no sense because for every plotline there are like 5 different explanations. And soon we won't even need a plotline to keep watching. Have you seen what's been happening over at Italian Brain Rot?
Tung 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 Sahur versus Glorbo Frutto Drillo.
Fight!
Won't even get into that can of worms. Now, you know that people are gathering in the streets to protest John Pork's freedom? You realize this non-existing cause has become of such high importance that groups of people are gathering in the streets, signs and everything, with an organizer behind them yelling "Free John Pork." There are no other causes that we should be protesting. John Pork. And if you're asking me why do I keep watching this stuff if I hate it so much, well, that's because I'm crazy, baby. I like to see my brain rot to the fullest. I want every brain cell fried, flush away years and years of good content in the toilet, just flush it away and replace it with Berber Patapimio Capello Appenodislim. No, but for real, at the end of the day, I watch it because I also find it interesting. And I can't say you shouldn't like this content. No one can really judge you for what you like and you don't like. But please, at least give other good stuff a try. Every once in a while, go watch a movie from IMDb's top 250. Check out a Studio Ghibli animation. Or read a good manga that can change your life. Give other beautiful sources of media a try so that brain rot won't be your brain's only source of entertainment. You can consume the brain rot, but don't let it consume you. Cause with the way things are going and our attentions purely focused on garbage that AI throws in our face, soon there won't be any of these beautiful pieces of media that currently exist. That's why I am officially forcing myself into the lore as Alex the Denier, where I deny the existence of the lore to convince you to watch other stuff. Please help me in my campaign by running the hashtag Alex the Denier. That's right, I did all this to get on the John Pork cloud train. Haha. Like and subscribe, please. Comment. Big project not yet ready. See you next time where I eat cheese. Bye.